Well, if you want Grandpa to stop saying racist things, take your hand out of his ass. Would be a fun thing that you could say if your grandparents were Muppets. Hello and welcome to The Great Beyond and Is This Good Companion Pod, where I catch up with my friend and yours, Jason Doyle.
I am fully erect, Matt.
Well, you just ruined it, JD, because, well, first of all, thank you for coming, obviously. If I don't thank you for coming. You did say you will leave this show.
Yeah.
But producing the show, she just asked her husband if he wanted to be more erect, Rachel Doyle.
I guess I should know the answer to that by now.
I am talking of my posture, of course. I was trying to sit up straight, and I would like to remain fully erect for the duration of the show.
Wow, that's a record, I think. 60 minutes? Dang.
Is it?
Call your doctor.
Oh, woo!
If only it were that easy, right? Because Rachel said, well, I framed up the camera shot here, but you're slouching, so if you want to slouch, that's fine. You're in a great position.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you said, no, I don't want to slouch.
I don't want to slouch.
No one wants to
Who
slouch.
wants to slouch? No.
Everyone wants to be erect. Everyone wants to walk around with a full cup of coffee on their head.
Yes, exactly.
At full mast. Yeah, but it's more comfortable to slouch sometimes.
In the short term, yes.
Again, JD did not approve my expenditure of a gaming chair, so I'm just on a stool. So I can't slouch, Rachel. Not all of us can slouch.
I'll approve it for you.
Thank you.
A gaming chair. I would love to see that in your little apartment there.
That's a great point. Because this is just the apartment. Yeah. I mean, this is not even a room. This is just the liminal space between the kitchen and the living room. So if there was just a gaming chair, that would mean it was there all the time. Do you have a thing in your head that's like, when you invite people over, a thing in your head where you're like, whoa, that's the most embarrassing thing we have here? Like the thing that you're worried.
Everything.
Yeah, literally everything.
Okay.
We need a new house.
Is it the fact that when a guest comes over, they'll inevitably ask, why do you have a table? Why are there 4 chairs around that table? Why are there all these wires? Why are there all these cameras? Mm-hmm. Why is there a neon sign? Why isn't that neon sign lit up, by the way?
Oh, yeah. Wow. Are you asking me why the light?
No, I don't.
It broke. It's broken. Okay? It's broken.
It's broken. Yeah, so it's the fact that you have a little man studio in your cave.
Yes. Man studio. Sure.
For me, it's all the cracks in our walls.
Oh. Yeah.
Like literal cracks in the walls and the ceiling that are due to shifting foundations, softness in the terra forma. I don't know what words I'm saying here.
You are renting though, Matt. Yeah. Like you cannot
I know,
be
but
blamed.
it's just like they're just kind of like, well, you know, it moves. It's California.
Earthquakes, man.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. It does, like, there was an earthquake. When was this? Like a few days ago.
Yeah.
Not strong, but I certainly felt it. Jill didn't, for instance, if that shows you how strong it was. Okay. But it's not like that happens and then I look at the walls and there's a new crack.
Right.
I think it's more the foundation of the house.
Okay. But it's not your house. That's the Rachel's
I know,
point.
but I don't want people to come over and be like, how do you live like this?
With a crack? Oh,
Matt,
we don't have a kitchen.
Yeah, you have no idea. Like, the guys, I'm sure they silently judge us every day they come here to work and go, oh my God, I don't know how they live here.
We're literally going on a year without a kitchen.
Well.
Wait, what do you mean a year without a kitchen?
Like, our kitchen is sort of ripped out. Like there was a leak behind one of the walls.
Wasn't I there when that happened?
Maybe, yeah. So
no. Sorry. I was there when your like dishwasher I think exploded or something like that.
There was that.
This is something different.
This was an old pipe that just basically burst. We had to rip the kitchen out to get to it, repair it, but we've never replaced the walls or tiles or counter or anything. So our part of our kitchen, which is tiny already, is a built-in dishwasher that's not built into anything, so it's just wobbling around, and a cutting board on top, and that's it. This is how we've been living.
Wait, and what about stove?
There's a stove that works half the time, 50% of the time.
He tends to exaggerate.
Am I exaggerating?
But it's still it's It's fine. It's fine. If we were renting, I'd be like, it's fine.
No,
But
you wouldn't. You'd be like, landlord, get the fuck over
exactly.
here and replace this kitchen. But we're the landlords, so
we're the slum landlords here.
and Rachel doesn't help. Like, I came home the other day and she had one of those. She is very partial to these candles that aren't real candles. They have lights in them, so they look like they're candles. They even have a wick that sort of burns on top. You know what I mean?
So this is not an LED light?
It's a LED powered candle. It looks like a candle. Right?
But something is actually burning.
No, it just looks like it.
Oh, it's
it just
a
looks
dupe.
like
Okay,
it's,
I got you.
it's,
Okay.
it's a prop,
It's a
basically.
pretend candle.
Yeah, and she's got a cluster of them at the top of the stairs. She leaves them on overnight as a kind of nightlight in case anyway, they're fine. But I come home to one that's lit and sitting on the steps. We have steps when we come in. And I'm like, what is this lit candle doing here on the stairs? She's like, you know what? I was thinking of getting one for every step.
And sorry, and this one is a lit candle or still the
This is just one of these prop candles.
Oh, okay.
But she's
and
like,
you're saying that would be embarrassing if someone came over and saw a candle on every step?
maybe.
Like you were living in a Victorian castle?
Yes, it's sort of like a crazy person lives here. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
she's
it's giving Miss Havisham. You know, it's giving Scrooge with one of those floppy hats on, holding that little oil.
Mm-hmm.
But Matt, we are so far past that. Everybody knows I'm fucking crazy.
Yeah,
Like, there's no shadow of a doubt. There's no more facade. Everybody.
Well, your
embraces
old
it.
house, which I was, more familiar with, that wasn't a crazy house at all.
No,
was
no.
it? Was there something in there that was
No.
crazy? The craziest thing you had in there was something I gave you.
Oh, it's still
And it wasn't that
here.
crazy.
It's beloved.
We still
It's
have it.
beloved.
The giant keep calm and carry
That's
on.
right.
I'd like to say poster, but it's not. It's a painting.
Hey, yeah,
It's a placard
We
thing.
enjoy it, but
Okay.
You outgrew it, and that's fair enough. But it's fine. That's the least offensive thing in this house.
So ultimately, what you're saying is if you had a gaming chair in your house,
We
it
have
would
a
blend
gaming
in.
chair.
We have
Oh, you
it.
do have a
Yeah,
okay,
of course we
great.
do.
So,
Matt, you should see our dining room table. I'm gonna take a picture of, the
Don't.
state of it for one. Okay, we're not gonna. Okay, that's a bridge too far. But Rachel went and got.
so you're gonna clean first, then you're gonna take a
No,
picture.
I can't. Like,
Yeah.
but you should see the state of our dining room table. Like, nobody sits at the dining room table anymore because it's completely covered in crap. But I wasn't even gonna talk about that. I'm gonna talk about the chairs that Rachel picked up at Goodwill. They're literally askew. Like, none of them are. You like talk about staying erect. You can't because they are all on an angle.
Okay, so during COVID, people didn't want to go to Goodwill. I had no problem with it. So there were a lot of good finds.
I'm seeing a hole in the market here.
Exactly.
I'm buying the dip on Goodwill.
I got a lot of good things because people were too scared to go to Goodwill.
Yeah, fair enough. But this was not a good find.
It was.
No.
It was. It
Okay,
was.
all
They've
right.
gone downhill since I bought them. There are 4 leather chairs for a dining set.
Yeah, I mean, they look okay.
How
but
much we talking here?
$5 each, maybe?
No, it was probably like $50 for the 4 of them.
Okay, 10
They're
bucks.
very nice, but they've started to slant, and so 2 of them you're like on the diagonal at the table.
It's literally all of them, and she can't detect them. She can't detect the slant for some reason, and I'm like, you don't feel that? She's like, I think it's fine.
My proprioception is off.
I think you're
So-
just defend the chairs. That's all. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm gonna take these chairs from my cold, dead hands. It's like when someone's very smelly, but they don't have a good sense of smell. Mm-hmm. They're nose blind, so
Another
they're like,
COVID
I don't
problem.
see what the problem. Yeah, another COVID issue.
Exactly.
Okay, well then I'm getting a gaming chair.
Yeah, I mean, 100%.
If you're telling me from experience that no one's gonna make a comment on it.
Well, the gaming chair is in Jackson's room, to be fair, and nobody's going up there.
God.
Nobody needs to see any of that.
No.
upstairs is worse than the downstairs.
Oh, God. There is a semblance of keeping things somewhat in order because, if
I
you're new
clean
here,
every
we
day.
do a bunch of shows here, and we have a studio in our house. We are in our house right now, and we have 3 guys from No Dunks come over every day. And so we do try to keep it a little bit tidy. The bathroom is very clean. But the rest of it, like out of sight.
It's very clean.
But it's clean. It's
Really-
just a lot of buildup. There's a lot of buildup.
Yeah, there.
Okay, well, did something happen? What happened over there?
I've always been
Like,
a hoarder.
You've
have
always been like this,
I have
though?
a
Again,
problem. I have a problem.
Again, I remember the old house. I've been in the main floor. I've been in the basement. I've even
Matt,
been upstairs. It didn't seem crazy. That's why I'm asking if something happened.
Because
Okay.
it was gigantic.
Yeah, this
it's
house-
so big.
This house is a quarter of the size of that old house.
Things.
So you're saying that without the proper shelving and closet space, it has exploded.
And our main storage area I'm sitting in right now. Like
Right.
it's
Okay,
we,
it's not your fault. Circumstances.
okay. We also have
combined.
a lot of crap.
Enabler.
A lot of
Okay.
crap.
Maybe we can we do a Marie Kondo sort of reality session where we get Rachel to throw out a bunch of shit and then she can come on and explain, like, or maybe you JD bring on 10 things that you want her to throw out
I could
Okay.
and we
bring a
make her
box.
fight for her life. Like, I'll be the judge. Like, if she convinces me that you really need it, I'll say fine, you can keep
Okay.
it. But
All right.
if I say get it out of here, you're getting rid of those 4
She's
chairs.
already I'm not
She's too scared.
Now,
she doesn't
if-
even know what the items would be. She'd be like, I need that.
It's finding the motivation to start this overwhelming project. And then, I could use that someday. Like, for instance, Jackson wants to play tennis. Guess who threw out the tennis rackets a few months ago? Now I'm regretting
You said
it.
the future's all pickleball, baby. We won't need this racket anymore.
Why don't you go back to Goodwill where you dropped them off and got them in the first place and just pick them up again?
JD, bring on some items next time.
Okay. All right. I'll
Okay.
bring out maybe 10's a lot, maybe 5.
Yeah, bring 5, bring 3, just to start the process, get her thinking. You know. So you're not-
1997 tax return. Do we need it?
I need an intervention. It's fine.
It honestly sounds like you do.
I do. I need help.
And I'm
though.
just the man to give you that intervention. I'm just the man to intervene. And I've never been to an intervention, and I don't know if I'm gonna get to be at one.
But it would have to be.
I'm 43 years old.
Well,
It would have to be a party, a cleaning party, to
No,
actually
because
make it happen.
no, we're not coming over to clean for you.
Well, then it's
We're just helping you through the mental block that it's gonna take to start the clean.
it's to get the motivation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Great. Glad we settled that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
JD, your life's gonna turn around.
Oh, I can't wait.
I have
can't
a
wait.
crazy thing that we heard of when we went and we're hanging out with friends this weekend. And I don't know what you just said that made me remember it.
Keeping stuff.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, so they had a dog die when their kids were just graduating high school, our friends. And so there's this thing you can like take like a gajillion pictures of your animal and send it, and they'll make you like a stuffy toy of this animal.
You want to take the pictures
Oh.
while the animal is still alive.
I thought you were gonna say they were gonna clone it, but this is less.
And so it's supposed to be like this beautiful replica of your dead pet, and
Sure.
and whatever it. I mean, that's nice and whatever. And I was
Yeah,
like,
we all know they're sending everyone the same stuffed
That's
animal.
what I'm
Exactly.
saying.
If it's a golden retriever, they're sending you the golden retriever.
right.
If it's a boxer, they're sending you the boxer.
why do you need a million pictures, right? I'm like, maybe it's because I had a drink or two, but I'm like, you could do that for family members and then bring them out every Thanksgiving and Christmas to dine with you. Wouldn't that be fun?
Not on those crooked chairs.
The crooked chairs.
Grandpa's leaning over again.
So, in your mind, are we stuffing them in their current skin suit, or it's like a Muppet?
It's 3D printed Muppet, basically.
Blow up doll, what
Yeah.
have you.
Inflatable for better storage. You're talking about a sex doll. Making your dead relatives into sex dolls.
But it would store better that way.
Yes, exactly.
They don't have to
Flatten
have
them
the
out.
open mouths, though. That would be creepy.
No.
So next week when we're doing this exercise, JD's like, "All right, Rachel, the 3 items I've brought are
Grammy?
this full-size stuffy of your dead great-grandfather. Do we still need that?"
He's gathering dust up there.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to eat the cranberry sauce.
Well, if you want Grandpa to stop saying racist things, take your hand out of his ass. Would be a fun thing that
Yeah,
you could say if
100%.
your grandparents were Muppets.
Well, with AI, if you have enough recordings of your grandfather, you can just sort of put a talk box in the doll itself, and then just every so often.
Oh, Daddy Ruxpin.
Did you
say Daddy or Daddy?
Yeah, Daddy.
I said Daddy, but Daddy Ruxpin.
But Daddy's good because it's
Daddy Ruxpin is a sex toy.
Don't say Diddy. No Diddy.
I'm your friend. Yeah, no, you don't want Diddy Ruxpin. That's not flying off the shelves come the holiday season.
No.
You stink! And you stink because you're active. So what are you going to do about the BO? Completely change your life so you live in a bubble and never move? Impossible. We're working out. We're carrying grocery bags in one trip. We're in an office where the boss likes it real steamy and there's tape over the thermostat because he doesn't trust you, which is actually accurate because you would turn it down if you could. Slowing down's out of the question. What's the solution? I have it here in my hando. It's Mando. Mando is whole body deodorant that I use because it's clinically proven to block odor all day. And no, I did not misspeak. Mando is whole body deodorant. So, JD, ask the question on everyone's mind.
Do you put it on your dick?
That's, very close.
Do you put it under your balls?
That's the question on everyone's mind.
Okay, all right.
And the answer is yes, you do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it's whole body deodorant. Where have I put Mando? Pop quiz. Behind my knees.
Yes.
Yes, correct. Inner thighs.
Oh, yeah.
Correct. Hands.
Yeah, I'm going to say yeah.
That's right. Keep
Wow.
it jazzy, baby. What about the belt line, the waistband? That gets a little sweaty under there.
I know mine does. Yes, I would say yes.
Feet.
Oh, 100%.
Do you see what I'm saying? Do you remember in Lost when John Locke said, "Don't tell me what I can't do. Don't tell me where I can't put Mando. I won't hear of it." The deodorant stick, this is keeping me fresh. That's a non-negotiable. I'm using the invisible cream post-shower. And yes, it's invisible. Like, oh, did I put it on? Because sometimes I don't remember if I put it on because that's how invisible. The spray, I'm misting. And it's got me feeling like the man when I walk through.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying, JD?
Absolutely. So are you spraying it in the air and then walking through the spritz, or are you just right directly on your bod?
That's what I'm doing. You see, can you
I'm seeing it, sort of.
well, that's bourbon leather.
Ooh.
Two things I love together in one package, making me smell fresh.
Yeah.
Mando Starter Pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like mini body wash and deodorant wipes. Boom, got those 2, and free shipping. And as a special offer for listeners, new customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack. Use code GOOD at shopmando.com. shopmando.com. Please support our show, tell them we sent you, smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe with Mando. That's shopmando.com. Use code GOOD. Hey, now speaking of Rux spinning.
Oh, yay. What a good transition.
Don't worry, we're not getting weekly rucking updates.
No.
But something happened to me that I found very unpleasant, and that is I was rucking, which if you're new here is just I put a 20-pound kettlebell in a backpack and I walk up a hill. A man stopped and asked me if I needed a lift.
Oh,
You
that's
were
nice.
Struggling? Were you struggling?
Not in a I just got off the bus at Port Authority, from a small Midwestern town. Do you want to lift? I think he was genuinely like, why are you doing? You couldn't be doing this for fun or for an exercise reason. You must be struggling to get up this hill. Can I drive you? And let me off at the top? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about that because that picture that you sent us, it does look like you just got off the bus from Iowa. You got the baseball cap and the the naive
who
look
walks
on
off
your
the
face.
bus from Iowa in a dry fit Nike hat and spandex shorts? I mean, maybe the spandex.
Yeah, you did look pretty cute. Maybe he was trying to pick up.
I agree. I looked cute, and plus I had a nice glisten and sweat on my face.
Okay, all right.
But I don't think I looked like I would agree to get in the car with a stranger.
Right.
Maybe,
And so, sorry.
Maybe you looked fully erect.
If I looked fully erect, then I was doing so good.
Right.
Because, you got that weight on your back. It wants you to hunch forward, but you got to use the core and the muscles here.
Now, the weight in the backpack, it sort of hangs low, I assume, because it's a kettlebell in the bottom of the backpack, right?
It is giving Rachel's dead great-great-grandfather's balls. Yes, you're right.
Just swaying in the back.
Just gently thumping against your lower back.
It does hang low, but it's not like bouncing against me because the bag's got a lot of things you can kind of tie up and
waist. Do you have a waist cincher?
Yeah, I have the waist.
Okay,
cinch.
all right.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
But the thing is that like I'm in my neighborhood where there's a lot of. I mean, one of the reasons I love LA is it just seems like there was no planning at all to any, especially the neighborhoods that are not like Hollywood,
right,
West Hollywood. Mm-hmm. But even the fancy hills, like they don't look like they were designed by a planner at all. The streets are narrow. Sometimes there's parking on both sides.
Yeah.
It's certainly only room for one car. Some of the streets doesn't even look like you could drive a car in them in my neighborhood. There's literally sometimes dirt streets like in my neighborhood, like right in the middle of nowhere. And so all this to say that I'm used to people creeping behind me and realizing like, oh, I can't actually get by on the street with him. And I'm walking on the very side of the street,
right,
to be clear.
No sidewalk.
But they still can't get by. Yeah, there's no sidewalk on many, many streets.
Right.
And not in like an evil, we're in the middle of the city and there's no sidewalk, or we're in a fancy suburb and we don't want people walking around. In a literal, like, no one planned this, there's not room for a sidewalk.
That's right. We never intended for this people to live here.
Right. They were like, once, if we get past horses, we're really screwed here. We don't have the bandwidth for anything
That's
else.
right, yeah.
Anyway, so I'm used to people lingering behind me, but then he didn't move, so I took out a headphone. He rolled down his window, and I thought I was going to get hit with, do you know where this street is?
Right.
And he said, do you need a lift?
Yeah. That's kind, right? Like we feel good about this
And
exchange.
you didn't sense any.
I didn't sense
perverted.
anything. I mean, look, Rachel, he saw my stature.
Yeah.
He knew that I would cut a bitch if he got in there and played funny with me or tried to stop short or anything like that.
Damn.
Stop short. The Costanza.
Okay.
The Costanza.
Maybe he's carrying something, stops, and it falls. Like maybe he's carrying some Skittles in his hand, and then they fall on my lap, and then he goes over to grab them. Oh, sorry. I say, no, sir. Nah. You think I don't know the old Skittles in the lap trick?
So you just politely declined, is what you're saying?
I said no, thank you, and then he drove on. I also did go on a non-consensual ruck with Jill. There's a new fitness studio that opened in our neighborhood that we wanted to try.
Okay.
It's close enough to walk, maybe like a 10, 12 minute walk.
Who was non-consensual?
Jill was non-consensual. And I said, oh, well, it's a 12-minute walk both ways. It's like, I can get in like 25 minutes of extra work here because I knew this class was going to be a fucking joke.
Yeah.
And it was a fucking joke. No, it was a Pilates class, and I love Pilates, but at this place, I knew it was going to be like kind of like geared towards a more holistic.
Careful.
Oh, holistic, okay. So like,
just like
nap time,
we're moving
basically.
our bodies in the space, and that's great. And as long as we're trying, it's great. Which I don't disagree with. I'm just saying, if I pay for the class and I leave not having sweated, and I'm a man, and I sweat when I come out of the shower,
right? Yeah.
Then
Something's
I don't
wrong.
feel like I did anything. So I knew I needed to bring my rucking back.
I got to work out there and back, babe.
Exactly. This has given me a window into how easily we can embarrass our children. Because Jill was like, I don't know that I need to be seen with you while you're doing this. I said, that's fair, but I need to. But then it gave me like a little reminder of, let's just say, don't want to go too deep into it, my dad being a little too comfortable in the 90s wearing the bike shorts off the bike. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
like he'd go biking, then maybe he'd have to drive us to swimming practice.
Yeah.
Still in the bike shorts.
Right.
And he didn't have them under another pair of shorts.
He did not have them under another pair of shorts.
Well.
Now, luckily for him, if this was today, athleisure is much more accepted than it was in 1995.
Yeah.
Not if
the
you-
spandex shorts, not so much.
Not
I
if you
don't
see
think.
the whole package and all its delineations.
Yeah. Well, anyways, it was unpleasant for her, and unpleasant for me too.
Hey, big news though. Speaking of your dad,
Yeah. What?
he's my newest Facebook friend.
Oh.
He friended you, or you friended him?
I friended him. He popped up in my feed. I'm like, I'm
People you may
friended.
know.
Yeah, and he accepted my friendship request. So I have a new friend.
Well, you gotta like the photography that he posts.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Gotta increase engagement.
okay. I can do that.
Anything going on in your world, JD?
Are you up to speed with the ballot of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame by any chance? As I'm saying it, I'm realizing how stupid that sounds.
I don't even know what you mean by
The voting.
Like,
There's a fan vote right now for this year's
a fan
inductees to the 2025 class of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Are you
I
familiar
have
with?
not voted, and I don't know who's on the ballot.
Okay, great. That's
If
perfect.
that answers your question.
That's perfect. Because this caught my eye. All right. I'm going to list some of the inductees, and I want you to tell me, not inductees, sorry. These are nominees.
Nominees to be inducted.
To be inducted. And I'm going to list them off, and I want you guys to guess who is leading.
I saw the list. I can't participate.
So you saw what's on top?
I saw what's on
Okay,
top.
so it's just for you.
Who's
Matt.
not talking, please? Oh, God. Stop doing visual humor.
Yeah. I mean, it's great for the YouTube crowd. It is great for the YouTube crowd.
It was good timing. Fine. That was good timing.
Good time. Okay, here we go. Cyndi Lauper,
Yeah.
Soundgarden,
Yeah.
Joe Cocker,
Yeah.
Chubby Checker,
Okay.
Black Crowes,
Okay.
Fish, Billy
Yeah.
Idol.
Yep.
Did I say Bad Company?
No.
Bad Company. And I'll throw one more in. Joy Division and New Order. They're together. Who do you think is leading the fan vote?
Oh, my God. Why didn't you tell me? I would have written these down.
Okay.
You just named 15 things.
Okay.
Okay, so it's
should've
obviously
put it
someone
up.
I wouldn't like.
Not necessarily. I'm just wondering.
I don't think it could. It could not. Well, it's not Joy Division New Order, even though obviously they very much deserve to be in there.
That is correct.
Especially if they're two bands.
Two bands, yeah, for the price of one.
It's like, yeah, Nirvana. I don't know if that cuts it. Or what if we sweetened it with a little Foo fighting?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, Cyndi Lauper.
You should repeat them.
Do you want me to repeat them?
Yeah, just do them quickly, and I'll
Okay.
make a quick note here.
Cyndi Lauper, Joe
Yeah.
Cocker, Chubby Checker,
Yeah,
Fish,
Yeah.
Billy Idol,
yeah,
Bad Company,
Yeah.
Soundgarden,
yeah,
Black Crowes,
yeah.
Joy Division, New Order.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, my one thing is I might say Fish just because they have such a rabid fan base. Mm-hmm. Cyndi Lauper, Joe Cocker. I mean, it can't be Bad Company. It couldn't be Billy Idol, could it? I'm going to say Fish.
You're right.
That's really?
It's Fish.
Oh,
Holy shit.
Now, yeah,
Why I have a license to do subjective trivia.
that's exactly right. This was objective trivia, and you fucking nailed it. Yeah, Fish is in the lead by far with 195,838 votes
Guitar
as of
solos.
this morning.
Oh,
yeah,
votes,
and
sorry.
guitar solos per concert, believe it or not. Yeah,
So and is this a like All-Star NBA All-Star voting where we have a percentage of the vote or not?
I'm not sure how it works, but I believe it has something to it's a factor, but probably by like 1/10 of the actual academy or whoever. Like, who votes other than the fans? You know,
There's an academy. Yeah, there's
Yeah,
like,
so,
I think
yeah.
it's some combination of music critics and producers
Yeah.
and music executives. I mean, but I didn't know who was nominated this year, but in the past I've just seen who they're actually electing
right,
and who's in it and who's not in it. It's a big no thank you for me.
right, yeah.
There's just no rhyme or reason to it, and not which is ironic because it's about music. You know what? Sorry, this is just a quick thought. You know what you did on No Dunks? What word can you never spell correctly?
Yeah.
You know, I often am like, sometimes I think like, well, what would I answer to this question? I had an answer right away. Rhythm.
Yes.
How do you
Me
spell
too.
that?
Rachel
I get it
said
wrong.
the same thing.
Every single time. In fact, if you asked me right now, I would get it wrong.
Yeah. There's an RHYT.
Oh yeah, here, JD, take a crack at it.
Okay.
I'll look it up just to make sure I'm correct.
Think R.
Yes,
God, I feel like I'm in a spelling
everyone
bee.
gets that one. Everyone gets that.
Could you use it in a sentence, please?
Yes. In the movie Cool Runnings, they said, "Feel da rhythm, feel da ride, get on up. It's bobsled time."
Okay.
Don't spell it the way that sounds.
All right. Okay, so R.
Yes. He's sweating, folks. He's sweating so hard, someone's going to ask him if he needs a lift.
R H.
Yeah. Yeah.
Y
Yes.
T H
Yes.
M. Is that it?
Boom.
Oh,
I wouldn't. I
damn.
don't know.
Hot damn.
I don't know where to put the H's. That's
Yeah,
my
yeah,
problem.
it's very tricky
So-
because it just ends too, right?
So 2 H's?
Rhythm.
2 H's.
Yeah. R.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2 H's.
Yeah. So yeah, and so according to this infographic I'm looking at, they induct more than one, band or whatever. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7. So according to this vote, this is who would be inducted if the vote ended today, and it was only fan votes. Fish, number 1,
Yeah.
by a lot. Billy Idol,
I mean, fine.
sure,
Okay.
right? I mean,
Can you tell the story of rock music without Billy Idol?
yeah, you can.
I think you probably could.
Can you tell the story of wedding dance receptions
No, you
without
can't.
Billy Idol?
No.
He should be in the Wedding Reception Hall of Fame.
and when he goes up there, he should have to explain the transition from. This was a thing for you too, right? During Mony when they play it, you would go. And you
Hey,
might have to bleep,
motherfucker, get
laid,
laid,
get
get
fucked.
fucked. So stupid.
How did everyone? This blows my mind all the time. Like coast to coast,
Yeah.
across ages, probably in America too. When Mony came on, and then he goes Mony, everyone would go fucking horny. Why? What year did this start? How did this begin? How did we all know to do it?
Oh, it was 100% in the 80s. I remember doing it.
Here
in
she
the
come
80s.
around singing Mony,
Yeah.
and then we as 13-year-olds at bar mitzvahs would scream, "Hey motherfucker, get laid, get fucked."
Docu-series idea, guys.
Well, yeah.
And parents today complain about the lyrics in rap music. Yeah, whoever created that also created Rod Stewart swallowed 8 pints of cum. You know, like,
Yeah, and the gerbil story for Richard Gere.
and the gerbil story.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll find that person. Sorry,
yes.
go ahead.
So where was I? Bad Company, number 3. Soundgarden, 4. Cyndi Lauper.
Bad Company number 3.
Number 3.
I'm gonna need you to tell me what Bad Company did. They had that one. What was their big song? It's like a ballad.
Yeah.
It's like a power ballad.
Is that the one that was written
have to look it
by... Paul McCartney wrote a couple of songs for them, didn't he?
No, you're thinking of you're thinking of something else.
Is Bad Company Boys Are Back in Town? Is it those guys?
No, that's
That's Thin
hold
Lizzy.
on.
Thin Lizzy.
That's Thin Lizzy.
Thin Lizzy.
There,
Sorry.
the band that you're thinking of is No Matter What You Are.
Yeah.
But that's not Bad Company.
Okay. Anyway, Bad Company.
Okay, you keep talking while I look it up.
Okay. Soundgarden, Cyndi Lauper.
That's Bad Finger. That's Bad Finger.
Wait, Bad Motor Finger? Wait, what's that?
No,
That's a
stop.
Soundgarden
Don't confuse us
album.
further.
Joe Cocker.
Oh,
and,
Feel Like Making Love. Sorry.
yeah,
to
Feel
interrupt.
Like
That's what
Making.
it is. You could definitely tell the history of rock without Bad Company.
Yeah, you could.
I'll just say that.
I mean, Soundgarden, I think, deserving.
Soundgarden is a more artistic band than Bad Company.
Yeah.
Bad Company is kind of a schlocky
Yeah.
80s corporate rock joke. And Soundgarden actually put out artistic music and
Yeah.
full albums that are amazing.
Yeah, and I think groundbreaking. They definitely bridge the gap between like metal and grunge. You know.
Yeah, and very influential guitar playing, very very influential vocalist.
Drumming as well. Yeah, and Chubby Checker. That's the last one. So the Black Crows, who are our favorite.
You can't
of
tell
mine,
the history of wedding receptions without Chubby Checker
You
either.
can't absolutely. Limbo,
People wouldn't know
every
how to
limbo
do
boy and girl.
Oh, is he every
Is he-
Limbo
is-
Boy and Girl?
I don't
and
know,
every,
actually.
And Twist Again?
Well, he's definitely twist. Do the twist.
He has at least 2 songs about twisting.
Okay.
Because he was like, this works fucking the first time. I'll do it again.
He's a
I did not
twist
know
guy.
if. I think the Hey, Let's Do the Limbo Rock is someone like. Isn't that Buster Poindexter? Okay, making a lot of things up.
Hold on. Limbo
Or
Rock.
no, Buster Poindexter's
Limbo
feeling hot,
is
hot, hot.
Chubby Checker.
Ooh,
Oh, it is.
good.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
You
He's
got a lot
in then.
right
He's
today,
in.
guys.
absolutely in. He's absolutely in the Wedding Reception Hall of Fame. You know,
Wedding Reception Hall of Fame is a good thing. I think we could flesh that up.
Yeah, I think we should for sure. Lower on the list, you got your boys Oasis. No,
They're not
votes.
in the top.
They're not in
You
the.
didn't even mention. Why couldn't I vote on them?
I should have included them. I don't have my glasses on. I didn't get that far.
Oh, they'll definitely get in eventually.
Eventually, yeah, but they're very far down in this list. Outcast also on the list.
Oh, yeah.
White Stripes, way low.
Yeah, I think it's probably too early.
It's
for
too
them,
early.
but they'll
Yeah.
get in.
Anyway, Fish, man. I couldn't name a single song. All I know is that they're famous for dicking around on stage for 3.5 hours. That's it. They're like
They're a jam band. They have some songs, I guess.
Yes,
But it's not for us.
yeah.
Let's
People are
move on.
gonna come at me, but
No. Not people that listen to this show.
you know we don't have any fish heads out there. What are they
Careful.
called?
Do we have any fish head?
Are they called fish heads?
They have to be.
That'd be ridiculous
to
if
be.
they're
They
not.
are called fish heads.
Okay,
They're
because
called-
deadheads, right? Fish heads is
Yeah,
a
yeah,
thing,
yeah,
and
yeah.
fish head.
I don't keep forgetting if they're called mahi mahi or Chilean sea bass. Hard to say. Hey, speaking of the Wedding Reception Hall of Fame, I'm coming to you with a wedding dilemma,
Oh, jeez.
and I think I've been very good about not bringing these things.
Nobody
Into
said
the
you
public?
couldn't.
Nobody said we love talking.
I know,
about it.
but I have one for you.
Okay.
And I've been asked. It's this. I've been asked now a couple times. Where is your registry?
Oh.
You know, the
Yeah.
thing that you might link on your invitation to say like, hey, we need these pots and pans and blah blah blah. And
Sure,
you can
yeah.
buy these as a gift. And you know, we did this as a topic before. Rachel, you weren't there. With I'm pretty sure Alana Johnston.
Yeah.
And I think, though, I don't always remember how I felt about things in 2023. Can you believe, JD? We've been doing this show forever. That episode's from
Crazy.
2023.
Wow. Nuts.
The year that Rachel bought those chairs from Goodwill.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Maybe earlier.
So I like registries
Yeah.
because if they're saying like we want this thing, sure, buy it for them and it's easy and it gets sent to their house, whatever. We don't have a registry for 1 to 2 reasons. The big reason is we live in a very small apartment that has cracks in the wall, and we don't have room for anything. We don't even have room for what we currently have.
Right.
So if people started sending us various kitchen appliances and linens and things like that, it would be thank you very much. And I do want these things. Do I want the full palette of Le Creuset cookware? I do, but I just don't have the room for it.
Would you accept a tub of polyfilla?
I don't know what that is.
It's to fill cracks in your wall.
No, because I guess if I wanted to do that, I could.
Right.
But
Gotcha.
I'm not doing that.
Okay.
That's a rental. So we talked about it and we said, well, we're just not going to have a registry. Now,
Okay.
you are a guest at this wedding. What would you take from that? So you look, maybe Rachel says, oh, did they have a registry? You say, no, they don't. What happens from there?
Do you take checks or cash?
Well,
Venmo.
here's the thing as well. Specific to your wedding, and I think this is true for a lot of people. It's a destination wedding in a different country.
Is it though?
Yes, it is.
Why is it?
Because
what if I had the wedding in LA where I lived? Is that less of a destination?
it's less of a destination for you. So if we brought you crockery, it would be not that big of a deal for you to take it to your home. Right?
I see what you're saying. Yeah. No, I totally take that point. I'm just not sure that this is a destination wedding.
Okay. Now, you're very
My
sensitive
entire family's in Montreal.
Okay, yeah. I know.
My
Okay.
92-year-old grandmother, who
Right.
would like to attend, is in Montreal.
Right.
Make sure you get
I'm from
pictures.
Montreal.
Lots of pictures of her for
Come on.
for the stuffy.
yeah.
Like if I wanted to give you a surfboard, for example.
Yes.
It would be weird for me to take it from Atlanta to Montreal, and then you would have to ship it. But I guess wedding presents, you don't really need. I could ship it directly to your home.
Unless you walk through customs with neon zinc on your nose. So, Hank 10, baby. No, but you would, if you wanted to give me a surfboard with your face on it,
Yes.
then you would just ship it to me here.
Right. Okay.
You don't have room for a surfboard? Come on.
That's true.
I'm just back to the destination
okay.
wedding thing. If I had it in LA, everyone would be traveling the same, actually a further distance. Like for you, LA is further than Montreal.
Right.
And Montreal is also much cheaper than LA. So I just don't, both because it's cheaper and because there's a 30% discount because of the exchange rate.
Yeah, for sure.
So I would just like to maybe say maybe it's not a destination wedding.
Okay. All right. I
That's
didn't
why
mean to
maybe
bring
we'll
up
just
a
like,
sensitive
I'd like
topic.
to think, everyone just think about whether it is or isn't. But I don't think it is.
Okay. Well,
It is for us because we're traveling there.
which is fine.
But if it was in Atlanta, then more people would say it was a destination.
For them.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And we're happy. We are happy.
Well,
I
we
love
need to
Montreal.
book the ticket before we're driving up there.
Okay, let's not get derailed
Okay, well,
here.
then
Let's-
get back to the point of
So,
how you're going to
okay,
give
here-
me money.
the
So let's go back to that.
The real question is, do you want presents or don't you want presents? Or do you just want cash money?
Cash, babe.
Well, in my life and experience, when someone doesn't have a registry, what I do is I buy a card,
Yeah.
I write in the card, and in that card I tuck in either cash or a check. I mean,
Okay.
again, I'm old, but that is just what I've done.
Do you accept
First of all,
checks?
Of course. Well, of course.
Okay.
Why wouldn't I?
I
But
don't know.
that
Some
actually
people-
brings us. Well, I'll take your point right now, Rachel, because that brings us to the crux of the question. So this person said, "Do you have a registry?" I said, "No." I explained why we don't have room for anything, and not to mention we're somewhat transient. Like we have not nested yet. We have not put down roots. This is not the place with the cracks in the wall that we're going to be living in for.
Knock on wood.
Fucking hopefully.
Knock on wood, yes.
But so then they said, well, then you should put, or then you have to put a honeymoon fund on your, instead of where the registry would go on the invitation, you have to put a honeymoon fund. And I said, why? And they said, because that's how people will give you a gift, give you money. I said, what I just said to you, don't people just buy a card and put in money or put in a check?
Yeah.
And she said, no. And I said, I don't want to put the words honeymoon fund. I don't like those words.
No, you get a different.
Well,
different
would you
title.
prefer cash or check accepted? I mean, like,
I thought that we were all mature enough that we didn't have to talk about it at all.
no, we're
But
we're
apparently we're not. And like Jill's younger, and there's, younger people that are still in their, fucking 30s coming, but apparently no. So Jill's like, I've got the same question from my friends. Why don't you have a honeymoon fund up?
not. Right. Yeah.
So now we put one up.
Oh, you put one up. Okay.
I didn't call it a honeymoon fund.
Kickstarter or?
Yeah, exactly. Because it feels like a fucking GoFundMe. I don't like that.
Yeah.
I mean, but
And then,
that's
first of
what
all, then
it
Jill
is.
was like, well, we could put a QR, people put QR codes on the table at the wedding. I said, over my dead body. I'd rather get zero presents, $0, than put a QR code at our wedding.
Just pass around a hat like an open mic.
Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna have to have like a lock.
It's a pay what you can
something.
wedding. I mean, look, I would love to be a your presence is your present guy. And in a way, I really do believe that. And that's part of why I'm not saying anything. Like, I don't, in one hand, I don't want to say no gifts because I've been to everyone else's fucking wedding and I bought everyone else a gift. And I do feel like if someone wants to give a gift, then great. And I don't want to say no gifts. But I also am not like putting, this is how you must give us a gift. And I just kind of figured everyone knew that if there's no registry, you give cash or you give nothing.
Yeah.
That was our plan.
Certainly, we took the hint. That's for sure. But yeah, I think people. I mean, you could put no gifts on a wedding invitation, and your aunt is just gonna buy a gift anyways. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like
she's going to buy me the crock pot.
Exactly. You're gonna get a
Even though I
crock pot.
didn't ask for it.
You didn't ask for it. You very, very maybe gently in her mind, but you implied that we want cash here. Even if you put up a honeymoon fund, she'll be like, "Oh, I love my crock pot, and you're starting out your life. You may not know about crock pot, so you're getting a crock pot."
Yeah, but they're not
You know
going
what
to
I'm
think
saying?
that because he does have to fly back to LA. People aren't going to be that crazy that they're going to be like, yeah, you want to fucking carry a crock pot.
Mark
onto-
my words. They're gonna come.
That's mental.
They're gonna come back from the wedding,
Crock pot.
and there's
in
gonna
hand.
be there's going to be a package at the door.
A set of Pyrex.
It's going to be
dishes.
something. It's going to be something from somebody.
Pyrex.
He's like, yes, yes, queen.
That's right under Le Creuset. Okay, so you want to know what name I went for? I mean, it's hard to come up with a name that doesn't sound like it's a GoFund. Because fund me.
Yeah.
And I also maybe this is crazy, but I don't like the idea that if I say this is a honeymoon fund, my estimation is that 99% of people that put up honeymoon fund do not use all those funds for their honeymoon.
No, but that's fine though, isn't it? I mean,
so then why not call it a slush fund?
Sure.
Well,
Because that's what it fucking is it not?
Yeah, absolutely. What did you call it? A slushy fund.
No, I put it. I just wrote the gift of travel.
Okay.
How do we feel about that?
Why?
Love it.
So you feel the need to imply that it's for a trip, even though it's...
Well, I think it. Yes, I do feel the need to imply that it's for a trip. But I guess it will be. Like, we'll eventually go on a honeymoon, not right after, but maybe sometime in late September.
Sure.
Okay. And then you'll have some money to do it.
Yeah, and that's
It'll be
great.
nice.
And thank you in advance to everyone that's wanting to do that. But I just didn't know that I had to do this. I didn't know that I had to be in the digital payment universe for this to work. And apparently, like everything else, I do. I got to accept Stripe and Zelle and Venmo, Cash App, PayPal.
People need direction, Matt. People need to be told what to do in these situations.
The directions are there, and it makes me embarrassed. I'm embarrassed.
Don't be embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed. What's the
gift of
what other reason is there to get married? I mean, other than,
it's not. We're not coming out on top.
Well,
the cost of the wedding versus even if
exactly.
I estimate, everyone giving me X number of dollars,
yeah,
it ain't gonna work out.
no.
There's only 100 people coming to this thing.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
unless everyone opens their hearts and opens their wallets, we're gonna be in the red. So it's not about that. But
Right.
again, I'd like to be the bigger person and say, just don't bring us anything.
Right.
Because I also I understand people have to travel, even though it's not a destination wedding. People do have to travel.
Yeah.
Anyways, just fucking donate to the travel if you want to. The gift of travel.
The gift of travel. I love it.
Oh, speaking of travel, have either of you heard about this Southwest debacle? A flight that you guys haven't talked about flights in a while. The lady
go ahead.
who was
Go on.
who took the Southwest trip from Houston to Phoenix.
Go on. Need more information, please.
All right, just checking. She stripped down, completely nude, and was running through the aisle acting a little, as she yelled out, bipolar. She screamed that she was bipolar, and she was cussing the whole time. And
As long as she explained it.
yeah, she did.
Wait, this is in the air or?
Trying to get in the air, so they hadn't quite
They
lifted
haven't
off.
left the tarmac yet.
So she was, I guess, running amok for 25 minutes naked.
Shoes off. Everything off.
I don't know about shoes, but it was well described.
That'd be very ironic if the only thing she left on was the thing people mostly complain about people taking off. Shoes.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
And she started pounding on the cabin door to get in to the cockpit.
That's very polite, Rachel. She knocked.
She knocked, and she started rubbing up against the flight attendants and going nuts. So, so they finally got her off.
Is there footage of this?
No pun intended. There is,
sorry.
but it's all blurred out.
Oh, no.
No, it was disappointing, but whew. And they're not charging her because clearly there's some mental health issues. They're just, they took her to get checked out. But boy,
Here's
oh boy.
100%. I'll explain to you what happened here.
Oh, okay.
She got on the plane. She got a premonition. Final Destination style.
Yes.
This Airbus is going down. But cabin door's already closed. She raised her hand. She says, I'd like to get off. They say, cabin door's already closed.
Yep.
She says, I really need to get off. She says, ma'am, please sit down. She goes, fine, sorry. I guess I got to do the thing where I show everyone,
All my bits
put it
and
in your
pieces.
favorite SNL sketches parlance, my cooter and my tutor, and strip down, and that's the only way I'm getting off this flight. Because otherwise, if you're going to do something insane like that, you wait till you're in the air so that it can go on for longer.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
No, she wanted off.
She wanted off, and I think she was right.
Yeah.
Well,
Now,
no.
did the plane crash?
No, it didn't.
Oh, well, that's
I
disappointing.
think she was right. So you think she was clairvoyant?
No, she thinks she was clairvoyant. Here's the thing.
Probably she thinks she's clairvoyant.
I mean, it is the perfect crime. It's the perfect crime. You find yourself on a flight that you don't want to be on before it takes off the ground. This is your best way to get off the plane. You just take all your clothes off and walk around and say, "Let me off this plane," because she didn't get arrested
Yeah.
and she got off the plane.
She did get off the plane.
So, we're going to see more of this because I think people are going to have, I got a bad feeling about this one. Get me off this plane.
And I like the idea that now you can just scream the excuse for what you're doing, and everyone's like, well, okay. They said they're bipolar, so
I'm buying it.
That's totally fine. So if I just scream angry, I can hit whoever I want.
I don't think that's
If I say unresolved trauma, I can just
Diarrhea.
They'll let you off. No,
Well,
they'll
he
let
did
you
have
off for
diarrhea.
that.
He did have diarrhea.
How does a movie compete with that kind of in-flight entertainment after that? I mean, it can't.
I mean, it's pretty.
One of the bits of footage, there was a lady going, "Girl, you need to stop. Come on, what are you doing?" It was quite a little commentary.
I don't think they're going to listen to reason at that point.
Oh no, she was talking. She's just talking to herself watching
she's
the
talking to
show.
herself.
No, she's filming it, and yeah, okay, that's great. I mean, I would hate for something like this to happen on a flight that I'm on, but
Yes.
I do enjoy these sort of where nobody gets hurt, and
Yeah.
it's sort of like, maybe she really is bipolar and clearly she was having some sort of episode.
Remember the woman, I want to say last year, who was on a flight and was like, that woman's not real. That person's not real. And everyone freaked out like, maybe we're so fucking stupid that when a crazy person starts shouting like, oh, maybe that person's not real, instead of going, oh, that person has something wrong with them, we all collectively go, oh, well, I guess maybe she just was seeing someone that we couldn't see. So that's probably what makes more sense here. Anyways, maybe she was seeing this other person.
That's maybe.
The ghost of Southwest.
The ghost of Southwest. I had a couple other notes here, JD, that I wanted to write. Oh, yeah, I wanted to be I don't have a good segue for this, but I just want to say buttons are back. Number one, did you know that?
Belly button?
Are we talking button-down shirts, or are we talking like buttons with slogans on them?
Neither. We're talking about buttons in cars.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because buttons were gone
what?
for a while.
I've heard this, yeah.
Yeah, because we went to, and this was actually inspired by, or not, like sort of kicked off by Tesla. If you remember when the first one came out, I forget what it was called, but it had that one giant screen in the middle from which you did everything.
Yeah.
Like the climate control, the stereo. There were no physical buttons. It was all just a giant screen.
See,
And everyone
I didn't
was like,
realize that.
oh, yeah. In fact, in a Tesla, if you want to, I think this is true. If you want to change the speed at which like the air is coming out of the vents, it kind of shows like a animated depiction of the vents, and then you like swipe up, and the air starts pushing harder on the screen.
Wow, cool.
Fancy.
So then all these other car companies started doing it. Like, this is what people want.
Yeah.
And then people eventually said, no, this is not, we want to adjust. I want to turn down the AC.
Right.
I just want to flip that knob. I don't want to go to the screen, type climate control, type AC. I mean, not type, push a buttons.
Yeah.
And then slide my finger across the screen. I just want to turn the knob once.
While you're driving, like
Yeah, that's
isn't that a
complicated.
hazard? Like,
I know, it's insane. I don't know. It's like you can't talk on the phone. I mean, you can't hold your phone in your hand.
Right.
Like you couldn't put your phone on speaker and hold it in your lap and legally do that. But you could change the radio station. You could switch the input to your phone. You could adjust the climate control all on a screen. That doesn't make any sense to me. What's the difference between that and texting?
Yeah. So buttons are back, you're saying?
Well, so Volkswagen is putting out a car, I think it's called the ID2 or something like that. And the designer said, we'll never make this mistake again about putting too many screens and stuff. He said, honestly, it's a car. It's not a phone. It's a car. That was his quote in the article.
How succinct. We've never been fancy enough to have one of those cars. Our cars are all old. So we never.
Well, it also reminds me that, do you remember, I told you about this in the starters days, when I went to get a new car or to lease a new car, the guy at the Honda dealership was such an asshole, and he was sending me these very vicious texts after when I didn't decide to go with the Accord. But I remember being in the car with him and being like, you know, we're in park and we're just in the lot before I take it for the test drive, and he's showing me, oh, look at all these features, look how cool this is. And then he turns on the radio and I'm like, oh, I'm just going to lower it. And then I was like, there was nowhere for me to lower it? And he's like, oh, isn't this better? It's all on the screen. And then he pushed a button and then slid his finger across. And then I was like, I just wish there was a knob. He's like, you wish there was a knob? iPhone, iPad, touch screen. This is the way of the future. No one wants a knob. And I was like, maybe I'm wrong about this. Of course, then he's like, and see, if you want to turn the air conditioning up, it's so easy. You just do this. And then he was like, zit, zit, zit. And he couldn't get his finger on it. And inside I was like, you couldn't do it. In this article, the interesting thing is it says, so it's talking about how like a lot of car companies are going this way. They've realized customers don't want every single function to be on the screen. But then it says, this conflicts with the sentiment of some auto executives, including Rivian software chief Wasi Ben Said, who said in-car buttons are an anomaly and predicted that soon everything will be controlled digitally through voice.
Oh.
What? How do they think this is a good idea? Like I'm in the car with Jill, and every time I want to raise the heat, lower the AC, turn on a seat warmer. That's right. My car is a Hyundai Elantra, but it does have a seat warmer in it.
Things are good over there. Take that into consideration when you're contributing to the travel fund.
We don't have seat warmers.
Again, you're not contributing to the travel fund. You're contributing to the gift of travel.
That's right. Sorry, the gift of travel.
So it's a subtle difference, but I think it'll have an impact.
I'm pretty sure you travel in your car, man.
It could be sort of a Streisand effect thing where that phrasing is so awkward that it makes people go, wait, this is really fucking weird. Why do they have a honeymoon? Like, why do they have this? Whereas if it was just a honeymoon fund, no one would notice.
Yeah.
But anyways, you don't want a voice. You don't want to control everything in your car through your voice.
Like everything, like left turn signal, you know? Like,
well, apparently on one of the Teslas,
horn.
they didn't have the turn stock or whatever that's called.
Oh my God. Yeah. So what did you do?
I don't know.
It's hand signals.
Swipe right and swipe left.
Maybe there was just a button on the steering wheel that says. Though honestly, that's actually a pretty good feature.
Yeah, that's a
button on the steering wheel. But that's still a button.
This could have been predicted if you looked at like sound editing and mixing back in the late 90s when everything was going digital and Pro Tools. Because the first thing that came out after all of this new software, which was amazing, you could do like 100 tracks. It was all plugins. There was no outboard, anything. The first thing they came up with was like a mixer, like a physical mixer, because everybody was like, I need to touch the fader.
Yeah.
I want to touch if I'm panning stuff, I need to touch the pan knob and whatever.
You need something tactile.
Yeah, you need to, and it makes it easier to control. And that's what you want in a car. You want to easily control shit.
Yeah.
Hey, remember, isn't that what Steve Jobs said about, they're like, hey, why don't you put a stylus on the iPad? And he said, baby, humans have 5 styluses on their hand already. They're called fingers.
Yeah, and then guess what came out 10 years later?
A stylus. They did come up with a stylus.
They came up with a stylus, the Apple
But I think
pen.
he was dead already.
That's right.
Like, I can't wait till Steve dies so we can come up with this stylus.
Steve.
Tim, before I give you the reins of this company, promise me you'll never put a stylus.
And then
he was crossing 2 of his styluses behind his back.
That's exactly right.
Well, we had a great or good this week.
Yeah, we did. We did.
Yeah,
A real banger. What do you want to know about what that is? Patreon.com/isthisgood. That's where you can hear the great or good. They're only for the Patreon people, and that's where we come on every week. We don't know what the topic is. Someone brings it up. We react to it. This one had to do, I don't want to ruin it. It lived at the cross section of Timothée Chalamet,
Yeah.
Kurt Cobain,
Yes.
Speaking of Soundgarden, Chris Cornell,
yeah.
thin mustaches,
Yes.
and hardcore pornography.
That's exactly
Is
right.
that an accurate statement?
It's pretty accurate. Yeah, pretty accurate.
Yeah. So if you want to hear how
Titillating.
that all fits together, patreon.com/isthisgood. That's also where you can get ad-free episodes, access to our thriving community on Discord, an exclusive episode every month, a hangout, and the greater good. So you're going to want to go patreon.com/isthisgood. And if you want to send me topics for future shows, like a mailbag episode, which we have coming up, isthisgoodpod@gmail.com. Subscribe on YouTube. Leave a review on Apple Podcasts. I'm going to say we haven't had one in a while, but to be fair, I haven't checked. And Rachel, why don't you make a pitch for everyone this weekend to watch a film? What film do you think they should watch?
We were speaking of rock and roll today.
We were.
And you got to get your homework in, folks, and watch Bohemian Rhapsody.
Bo Rap, as the kids are calling.
Bo Rap. Yep, Monday it'll
And-
be released.
Queen's got to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
They have to be.
They
right?
have to be.
Hold on.
No,
Keep
they
talking.
are. Don't even bother looking it up.
They
They have to be. That would be,
If Bon Jovi's in there, Queen better be in there.
yeah.
It's the final scene of the movie. Don't you remember? The final scene of the movie is me going online to vote for them.
Oh.
It's not the way I would have
Is
ended
that
it, but
post credits? I don't really remember that, but
it's the new director that came on after Bryan Singer. He was like, I have a good idea on how to end this thing, on how to land this plane. So there you go. Go watch Bohemian Rhapsody so you can understand our Is This Bad episode. That's coming up on Monday. Then next week, you'll have a mailbag. So isthisgoodpod@gmail.com. Well, that was fun.
Yeah, and feel free to throw ideas of the next movie we should watch because we got to.
Someone had an interesting idea, actually. I'll just pitch it to you now. Don't Look Up. The sort of maligned Adam McKay movie that came out. It was a Netflix movie. And if I'm not mistaken, it was nominated for an Oscar.
was it?
Am I making that up? That's something you should look up.
Have
David.
you seen it? I mean, it qualifies in terms of I fucking hated that movie.
I fucking hated it too. But people are saying that it really predicts this moment we're in with a billionaire sort of being in government, controlling the government.
Okay.
It's sort of with the times about how we're all not looking up. You know how you never look up?
Yeah. Well,
And Rachel's always like, don't look up.
I've gone limp. That's
It's
the
like that.
problem.
Erect.
I need to be more erect.
Don't look.
Yeah.
Well, things are looking up for you, Rachel.
It's going to be a good afternoon, folks. Afternoon delight. Sorry.
We're fucking on those candles.
God.
Got to get the mood lighting.
Okay, well, tune in also next week where JD... Oh, man, this might be it for the Patreon. I don't know. JD will bring at least 3 items that I will be the arbiter of whether they will get rid of them.
Okay.
I'm very excited.
Yeah.
My first intervention. Rachel, get excited. This was JD, Matt, and Rachel reaching out from the great beyond. We'll see you next week.